What's going on, family? Welcome to another episode of the Season on Road Show. I am your host, and today we're going to talk about the first film of 2025, Den of Thieves 2, Pantera. Going into Den of Thieves 2, I was excited. The reason being, I just recently watched Den of Thieves for the first time in a long time, and I forgot how good that movie was. It was like literally phenomenal. The budget wasn't crazy. The action was there. It was the perfect heist film, right? With a lot of twists in there. Not a lot. Okay, it was one major twist in there, but it was a nice twist that held you through the film. It was a phenomenal film, hands down. So I was a little bit more excited for Den of Thieves 2 than other people. And I just remembered as I was walking into this showing that this film came out 7 years ago, the prequel, I should say. That's a problem because this film could have been a lot better if it came out 2-3 years after. And I'm going to explain to you why. This is not Will Smith, Martin Lawrence, Bad Boys 2 situation. This is Gerard Butler, O'Shea Jackson Jr. going in for a sequel to a film. And honestly, even the first film, were they the main cast members of the film? Absolutely. Were those the names that got people into the theater to see that film? No, unfortunately. But we're here now. We got Den of Thieves 2. 7 years later, we go into this film. And as the start of the film goes, it's just missing that key element. Like the first film started off, hands down, guns blazing. It was action-packed at the beginning of the film. With this one, it seemed like they tried, but a lot of things were off. I don't know what happened to I'm not necessarily saying the guns need to be blazing in this second film as far as the beginning. What I'm saying is even hearing the sound of this film, it wasn't as good as that first gun scene in the first film. The sound mixing was off. It didn't get you really into the film with that first heist scene from Den of Thieves 2. With that being said, though, I would like to tell people, first and foremost, if you haven't seen the first Den of Thieves, go check that out. Phenomenal film. You will love it. I couldn't give it more praise. With this film, just the start of it, it was just like, I knew I was going to be in for a long film. It's 2 hours and 20 minutes. And I knew that time was going to drag a little bit. And it did. Unfortunately, because there wasn't enough going on in this film that will have you keyed in on the backstory as far as the heist and so on and so forth. Like they were trying to get into O'Shea Jackson Jr.'s character, his backstory a little bit. And then you have Gerard Butler telling his backstory. And I'm like, there's better ways to do this, guys. We're literally sitting here for 5 minutes discussing your past. And it seems forced. And on top of that, the filming of this film was it didn't feel like it had the same budget as the first film. Now, I haven't looked at the budget for this film. I can't say that it is probably around 30 to 50 million. It's going to be in that range. It shouldn't be any more than that. But you could tell that the writing wasn't there in this film. The directing wasn't there in this film. The same director and writer from the first film. The energy just wasn't there. So I didn't understand what happened because, again, you go in for the sequel. They give you a budget. Why didn't it work for you guys this time around? Was it too big? Did your scope go too wide? It was situations where it was mafia was put into the film for a second. Like literally, we're bringing in cops. We don't know if they're dirty or not. And then at the end, you find out that they're not. It's just a whole bunch of stuff, right? So I just feel like this film didn't give you what you should expect from a sequel. Was it a complete letdown? No, I enjoyed it. I was able to watch it. It wasn't anything that I would rave about. It was watchable. I'm going to just say that. It was a watchable film. I felt like it lacked action to be a sequel. I felt like it lacked a lot of aesthetics as far as just the scenery, the writing for the background, as far as the storyline. It wasn't really there all the way. So I feel like it was, I'm not going to say lazy because I feel like if it was any other film, it would have worked. Like the writing would have worked. It would have came off a little bit better. But being that the first film was just so good, this one was kind of a letdown. I'm gonna give this film a 5 out of 10. I think the film is worth the watch at the theater. The reason why I would say that is because I feel like if you don't go see it opening weekend, you're gonna miss out. If that makes sense. Like you don't want to come to work Monday and everyone's talking about this film because it's a good enough film to go out there. You're going to go watch it. You're going to enjoy it. But it's not something you're going to be like, oh, that was the best film for January releases I've seen. So, and again, I feel like the 7-year gap in between the films is a problem. Like I just thinking back that 2018 was 7 years ago is nuts. But the fact that that's a part of the problem in this film. It's like, you're 7 years removed from the original. What the hell is going on at this point? So I say that to say this. Definitely go watch it if you haven't seen it. 5 out of 10 is watchable. It's entertaining. You're not going to regret it, but you're not going to rave about it. All right. If you guys have any thoughts, go ahead and put them below. I appreciate y'all for tuning in for another episode of the Steve Monroe Show. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I'll see you next week. Peace.